Yeah. Okay. So, going through those stages, going through the stages as best as you can with these things to note. So, for me, my experience with grief, um, being honest about what was lost, saying it, you know, whether it was a significant person in your life, stating that person's name, whether it was a job, stating that job title, whether it was, you know, a house that you thought you were going to be able to get. Um, it could have been some possession, a person, a role, an opportunity. Was there a great opportunity that you felt was yours, should have been yours, and something happened, and now it's not, and you're grieving what could have been? But I think being honest and calling it out, I think that helps because sometimes unspoken things carry a certain level of weight too, like bad weight, when we don't name it, So you should take a second and say what you lost. I think that'll help you. Um, and then for whether it was something that you possessed previously or had access to previously, um, or it was something that you, like I mentioned with the lost opportunity, something that you would have had access to, or you would have attained or obtained. But I think whether it's memories or aspirations, I think taking the time to look at or recount or recall memories, or if it's something that you didn't possess yet, then taking the time to revisit some of those dreams, thinking about what could have been, really giving some attention to that, because sometimes we want to suppress those things. I know, like when you are actually grieving someone that is no longer in existence, sometimes it's painful to look at pictures and look back at text messages and listen to voicemails for those that listen to voicemails. Um, Maybe even going to certain places, going to their house if it's a close family member, being in their space. But I think it has a place in this healing journey. Initially, it can seem too much, but I think there's a place for that, for recalling those memories, looking at those photos, putting on that article of clothing that has their scent, um, looking back at the good times with a no longer significant other. I think there's a place for that. And I think also, um, for things that have yet to, be, I think taking some time to think about what it would have been like, acknowledging why you were looking forward to it. I think not facing these feelings prolongs our healing. Avoiding and suppressing certain emotions, I think, makes something take longer than it could. I don't want to say should, because your healing time is your healing time, but I'm saying sometimes avoiding certain things can make something take longer than it could have or would have. I don't want to be insensitive and say should have, because your time is your time. But if it's your aim or your goal to be at a certain point emotionally, I think the sooner you allow yourself to feel certain feelings, the sooner you'll be in the desired state that you want to be in. That's my thoughts on that. So that kind of ties in with saying what you want. For a dream, you can say what you want. Now, for a loved one, you can say, I wanted my so-and-so to be with me. I didn't want them to go. I didn't want to not have access to them. I didn't want to not see them again. I want to see them. I wanted them to be at this event, this thing. I wanted to hug them. Say those things that you want. I wanted to walk into that corner office. I wanted to close and I wanted to walk into my home. I wanted to get that career car. Maybe you wanted to have that child. Say what you want. It's okay to acknowledge what you wanted, regardless of whether or not it's possible to have it. I think it's okay to say what you wanted. And there may be emotions that come from saying those words. Words are so powerful. Words are so powerful. They really are. But I think it's okay to say those words. Whatever your it is that you desired, I think it's okay to say it. And don't rob yourself with silence. I think it's okay to say that you wanted that. I think it's okay to say that you wanted them. I think it's okay to say that you wanted it. Say it. You can say it. Yeah, so that's saying the outcome, saying the desire. And next would be gratitude. And this is kind of similar to like the memories, but I think with the gratitude, it has like a sunshiny, sunny day, warm hug feeling to it. You know, when you say the things that you're grateful for regarding it or them or, you know, whatever it is. So if it was, you know, a person, think about your interactions with them that were worth appreciating. You know, maybe something weird or funny happened and this person helped you. You bent down and your pants ripped and they gave you something to cover yourself with. You were able to have amazing conversations with them and you're grateful for those conversations. You had adventures. You did things that got you out your comfort zone and you grew as a person. You can be thankful for that. Maybe you didn't get the house, but you learned so much going through the process that, you know, when it is that time again, you're grateful for the experience that you obtained or the connections that you made. Maybe you met a great realtor. Maybe the mortgage broker showed you some things that you didn't know were possible and you'll be able to use them the next time. Maybe you lost a companion, a furry companion, And you can look back at how sweet or protective or loving or ever forgiving they were, you know? But I think gratitude has a beautiful place in one's healing journey and dealing with grief. It can allow for smiles to be present in a sorrowful and sad time. There can be beautiful smiles and laughs that can emerge during a dark time. Just by having gratitude and recalling and reflecting on times that you were or are grateful for. And then the last thing that I think can help you in your grieving journey, in your healing journey, I would say it's an action. And people do different things, but I will give you some ideas. But the reason for the action is when you put forth energy into something, I think it kind of puts a stamp on what you're going towards, what you're working on. And it also can be a form of closure. So let's say, for example, I just mentioned the furry companion. So let's say you no longer have your furry companion. However, whatever happened, whether they are no longer in existence, they're not in your possession, whatever that may be. But let's say you can print out a picture and frame it. Put your little furry friend in a frame. You can. Some places will do like the paw thing. They'll put the last paw print in clay or something like that, and that's something that you can keep that. Sometimes people make art, so you can make some art. You can create a tradition. So let's say maybe it is like a significant person in your life, a family member, maybe a spouse, a friend, somebody, this person is no longer accessible, whether they've gone out of existence or not. But maybe you go on their birthday to that restaurant they loved, or maybe you bake that thing or cook that thing that they liked, or you watch that movie, once a year, so you can make a tradition. And that can be a form of comfort and closure or continued connection. Whatever your goal or objective is, creating that tradition, making that item can be a way that you can go forward and heal and, really be better. Another thing too, you can write a letter. You can write a letter. Sometimes there's things that we want to say to someone. Whether, you feel like there's a loss because you wanted it to be something that it no longer will be, a relationship has ended, or someone has gone out of existence and you were going to fly back home, but you didn't get to make it, or you wanted to have an opportunity to apologize. You wanted to say sorry. You didn't get to do that. But sometimes when we write things down in the form of a letter to someone, we're addressing them in the way that we can address them, in the way that we can talk with them. You can get that out in the form of a letter. And nobody has to see that letter. You know that you were able to say what you needed to say to help you. Take that step towards your closure, your healing, or your continued connection. Whatever your objective or your goal is, that's what that last action. And it's not last, but that's what that action is. Last on my list, but that's what that action can do. It can provide that for you. And of course, wherever you stand with your faith, knowing that you can always in prayer ask for help. And I trust that you'll receive the help that you need. Um, Ask it believing, and yours it shall be. And then those that you trust around you, of course, you can talk with people. If you need to get someone, that legally can't share what you're saying, that's a person that you can confide in. You can get a therapist and talk it through with them. We all handle and process grief differently, and grief can be, it can be, it can halt, it can stop you in your tracks. It definitely can. But I just wanted to come on and talk about dealing with grief. Did you find this helpful? I hope you did. Let me know down in the comments. I'm going to start putting stuff in the description boxes. So, in the description box. But on this video and then past videos too, I want to get better with providing you with just resources and tools and freebies and worksheets and things like that. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.